Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. It is Sunday, August 28th, 2022. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? That Big Ten game in Ireland yesterday? Raucous crowd. I mean, these guys were loud over there. Now, I have to admit, I don't know how many of the people in attendance were actually locals and how many were the fabulously wealthy alumni of Northwestern who were like, hey, an excuse to go to Ireland for my end of summer vacation? Sign me up. And then they got into the free beer that they were giving out all game because everyone crashed the internet service of the stadium. I say that because if you've ever actually been to Dublin, you know that local culture there is nothing at all like American stereotypes of Ireland. It's not nonstop drinking, partying, fighting, and passing out in Dublin proper, even on the weekends. It's a very upscale, cosmopolitan, well mannered, much more European city than, say, like an American city full of people of Irish descent. We Irish Americans, we tend to make our own bastardized version of the Irish culture that's, shall we say, living in the very distant past. Emphasizes the alcohol, the partying, the fighting, the music, the color green, and the hating on English people, and much less the total picture of 21st century Ireland. Hey, guilty. Hey, I'll say it. Anyways, the game did not go as anyone expected. Well, maybe as people who love to drag on this current incarnation of Nebraska thought it would. Nebraska's defense got absolutely embarrassed. Gave up 500 yards and 31 points to a Northwestern team that is perennially among the worst in the country on offense. And things were, they were looking good for Nebraska early in the second half. It looked like their offense had made the adjustments they needed to. Got two very quick touchdowns in the third quarter to go up 28-17. Looks like they had settled in. Certainly looked like it was only a matter of time before our team total bet hit. And then Scott Frost says, hey, you know what I need to do right now that would really put this defense on its heels? Completely needlessly stupid type of risk and gamble. I'm going to go ahead and go for an onside kick. I'm going to be really aggressive. I'm going to seal this game away early in the third quarter with his team up 11 in the third quarter. There was no reason for that. None. There was negative reason for it. It was less than zero. Even when a team's not prepared for an onside kick, they usually wind up recovering the ball. And it's just not like you had a stout defense to lean on if it failed. I mean, Northwestern had been making them look silly the whole first half. The kick fails, and that's the momentum changer. Northwestern scores twice in two drives that both take under a minute, and Nebraska's offense never gets going again. Casey Thompson threw two interceptions in the fourth quarter. It was painful to watch. I know it's week 0. I know there's 11 more games to go, but if Nebraska's defense was that bad against Northwestern, I honestly think they might go winless in the Big Ten. I mean, that Rutgers game still, I think, might be a 50-50 game. Same deal with Indiana. But who are they going to beat in the West? Northwestern was the worst team in the West. You've got Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Purdue, and a much improved Illinois. Looking at yesterday's game against Wyoming, honestly, Illinois, how did they just not leave Scott Frost in Ireland after that game? Because this is all on him. What a boneheaded decision. What else happened yesterday? Sandy Alcantara got the monkey off his back with regards to the Dodgers. Continued his quest for the Cy Young Award last night through a masterpiece of a complete game. Like I said, the Dodgers have been his Achilles heel all season. 110 pitches. His final pitch, his 110th pitch, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I honestly cannot believe what the Marlins got away with giving this guy as a contract last year. 5 years, $56 million. It's not like he didn't have great numbers last year. Yeah, his win-loss record was terrible because it's the Marlins and literally all they have is pitching. But this man threw over 200 strikeouts and had a whip right around 1 in 2021. It's just insane to me that the Marlins were able to get away with paying him less than Kyle Freeland, Yusei Kikuchi, and a bunch of other pitchers who were just like auto-fade guys, betting-wise. Recapping, we broke even at 2-2 yesterday. Like we mentioned, that Nebraska game was terrible. And of course, yesterday was the day that Rich Hill decided to pitch like a beast again, and the Rays lost to the Red Sox. But the Mets did come through for us, and the North Texas UTEP game went under by a mile. We've got a full slate of Sunday baseball to go over today. Let's get right to it. And we're going to start with the Reds and the Nationals. Anyone who's watched this program for a long time knows that I am instinctively drawn to team totals when there's a reliably bad starting pitcher on the mound, even if the opposing team doesn't have a great track record at the plate. And I'm right more often than I'm not. And when you want to talk reliably bad starting pitchers in 2022, they don't come much more reliable than Patrick Corbin for the Nationals. The left-hander boasts a 6.1 ERA and a whip that's getting up there around 2. He's 0-8 in his last 8 starts, scattering 38 earned runs over 33 innings pitched. If you don't want to do the math, that is an ERA near 10 since the month of July began. The Reds' bats have been hot even in their losses lately, and this is a team that's been feasting at the plate against bad pitching. They plated 23 runs in 3 games against the Pirates last week. They've notched 11 runs in 2 games so far in this series against the Nats. They even look good against the Phillies, against some of the Phillies' better pitchers in Ranger Suarez and Noah Syndergaard. Behind Corbin, well, you have a Nats bullpen that's in the bottom third of baseball in terms of ERA and third worst in the majors in terms of home runs allowed. And they've been worked incredibly hard lately. They haven't had a starter go past 5 innings in the last 8 games. These guys are tired. They're gassed. It's an early Sunday afternoon game, so they're on short rest. I think the Reds continue to tee off on the Nats today, giving the Reds team total over 4 runs. Moving over to the American League, up to Toronto, the Blue Jays and the Angels. The Angels have been playing spoiler this weekend. They've shut out the Blue Jays twice in consecutive games at the Rogers Center. For whatever reason, the Angels always play really well in Toronto. They've won 22 out of the last 30 games they've played there. The Jays are dealing without one of their biggest offensive weapons in Teoscar Hernandez, who's been out the whole series with a left foot contusion and will probably also be out today. It's a shame because there's a really weak left-handed starter on the mound for the Angels in Tucker Davidson. Davidson was picked up from the Braves at the trade deadline. He posted an ERA of 6 since the deal. He most likely won't make it past the 5th inning, and it'll pave the way for an Angels bullpen who, while they aren't statistically as bad as people tend to think, people tend to associate with the Angels bullpen, are currently without their top 2 relievers in Ryan Tepera and Aaron Loup, thanks to Canada's COVID vaccination laws. I fully expect the Blue Jays to be able to get their groove back and knock around this Angels pitching staff this afternoon, even without Hernandez in their lineup. The Blue Jays have Ross Stripling on the mound, and this, obviously it's been his best season this year since his All-Star season in 2018. But the Blue Jays know his stats the third time through a lineup, and they've been very open with the fact that they're not going to use him late into games. And with the Jays having used their 2 most reliable relievers in Anthony Bass and Yimi Garcia yesterday, the Angels are going to get the chance to tee off on an otherwise weak bullpen. The over is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams in Toronto. I like that to continue today. I like a lot of runs. Take the over 9 runs in this game today. And speaking of totals, we're going to take a look at the Yankees and Athletics. And this is a risky play, I know, taking a look at this total of 8.5 runs, especially considering the offensive slump the Yankees have been in. But we've got a lot of factors working in the over's favor in today's game. For starters, Adrian Martinez. The A's starter has only been able to get through 5 innings of work in one of his starts since joining the big league club full-time at the trade deadline. He's given up 16 earned runs in 18 innings of work since then, and a lot of them via the long ball. He's given up 6 home runs in those same 18 innings of work, and the cold bats in the last couple of weeks notwithstanding, the Yankees still have more home runs than any other club in the league. Secondly, the bullpens. Neither team has their closer. Clay Holmes is sidelined with back soreness, and Danny Jimenez has been ruled out for the season with a strained shoulder. To add insult to injury, the Yankees disclosed yesterday. I just reading this sentence, I still am chuckling at it. Aroldis Chapman is not going to be available for the game today because he has an infection in his leg that was caused by a recent tattoo. Where did you get that tattoo, dude? How'd you like to have to go on the IL for that? Seriously. Needless to say, on a day the Yankees are having a bullpen day, with Clark Schmidt taking the mound for only his 3rd career start in as many years playing, it's going to mean some extra runs for the A's that they'd have otherwise. I have a feeling on this one. I don't usually bet like that, but the Yankees have been due for some positive regression at the plate in forever. They've got just the opposing pitcher to do it. Plus, they're having a bullpen day against an A's team that has hit their bullpen for 7 runs in only 6 total innings that they faced them these past 3 games. Extrapolate that out to a full game, and you've got the recipe for a lot of runs today on both sides. I just have a feeling you could take it or leave it, but give me the over 8.5 runs here today. Third and final play for the day. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live1Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Sunday, and I will see you next time.